first look.
Look at his notes. Sorry.
You know, we always talked and kidded you about TV work and all that, but are you learning something that you didn't know? Has the transition been different or the same?
It's really been great. You know, ESPN has treated me very kindly. I've learned more about television production than I ever cared to know. But it's been pretty educational for me. I've only really done two things on air. I did the SEC tournament last year, which is kind of like going through two-a-days because it's live and you got a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and then you come into your media day, which is live with a lot of moving parts. I'll settle in and do some studio stuff. I'll also have the chance to do some games. They're kind of piecing together the schedule, but I'm looking forward to it. It's certainly a change.
So when you're doing games, you're talking about as part of the broadcast
Correct.
team, the color analyst?
Yeah, on site, correct.
Okay.
Look, you had opportunities to get other coaching opportunities when you got done at Ole Miss, but like, what made this right for you?
You know, to be honest with you, initially, right when the transition happened, you know, I was approached with some opportunities that had come available, and I think I needed to step back, exhale a little bit, kind of refocus, and that's what I'm using this year to do. I've had an opportunity to go to a number of practices, so I'm using it as career development. You know, when you're involved with your own program, as I was for 23 years, either as an assistant or a head coach, you don't go to other people's practice. You don't really learn other ways of doing it. So I'm taking advantage of that. I've had a great opportunity to see things from a different perspective, and then the television part is fun and it's something that, again, hopefully I can you know, bring a little laughter and bring a little insight and have some fun with it.
Ole Miss was 12 years, man. Is it kind of an out-of-body experience to see TD and Bruce? I mean,
yeah, well, you know, it's funny because I'm not on air with them. SEC and ESPN try their best not to create these awkward moments, so I'm fine with it. Kern was fine with it. TD was fine with it, but, you know, I understand that there needs to be a little bit of a separation. I told you guys initially, I'm a big Kermit Davis fan. He and I go way back. He's an excellent coach. And I'm excited to see what he can do with this year's version of the Rebels. Obviously, I recruited most of those kids on the team, so I'm going to certainly be pulling for them from afar.
What is your approach, Andy, when it becomes necessary to comment on Ole Miss, to talk about them? What's that going to be like?
What do you think it'll be like? I'm going to be real. You know, again, Kermit is an excellent coach. I just hope he has enough time to break all the bad habits that I instilled with his team, and so that hopefully he can get them back moving in the right direction.
So is coaching for you, is that still TBA?
Yeah, you know, we all want to speculate. We're speculative creatures. We want to think about, okay, this and that, what's going to happen next. I'm trying to go into this with an open mind and just enjoy the experience and see where it takes me.
as far as the Ole Miss roster, you know it better than anybody. When you look at it and you look at this league and how tough it is, Ole Miss is picked to finish 14th. How can they make the jump? I know you know TD and the drop off he had from sophomore. So I mean,
well, I honestly think this. I think Kerm's voice is going to be great for TD and for Bree, and almost like a new energy for them. TD's a senior, and I'm sure he's approaching it with that senior sense of urgency. Brian last year really, for the first time, was healthy, and I'm sure he's getting much more healthy going into his junior year. Bruce has a year under his belt. Dom has a year under his belt. You guys have always heard me say, years 1 and 2 in a program as it relates to playing, you see the greatest improvements. Devontae Shuler has a year under his belt. So I think there's a solid core. I know Kern brought in some good young players to mix in with that. And, last year, no one was talking about Auburn and Tennessee winning the SEC, and there they did. So, preseason polls are things that we all, I suppose, have to do, but I don't think it means much. Kern will use it as motivation for his team.
Is this the toughest the league's ever been that you can remember?
Well, I do think
you got really strong in your last couple of years.
Yeah, I do think, when I first came into the league in 06-07, that was right at the tail end of the dynasty that was in Florida. Obviously, I went through a bunch of great teams in Kentucky, the Anthony Davis National Championship, the 38-1 team with Karl Anthony Towns and the Harrison Twins in that group. So there's always been quality ball. I think the quality of depth now, top to bottom, is as good as it's ever been.